Hi, Yang. Lovesick beluga. Well, you're not exactly the target audience for this, but you're free to stay. Maybe you want to say some words of motivation for the P6s? Your brother, your brother's taking PSLE? Okay. You want to help him to relay any questions? Hi. Sorry, SD. I don't think I. Okay. Hi, Eisen. How's your revision going? Everything all right? Feel confident? All right. Great to hear that. You got any questions? Just finished. Okay. Good. So you feel ready, confident, everything? Very nice. Good. Confidence is like half the battle already. The other half is making sure you sleep enough. You have any grammar rules or anything you are still not sure of? I will be more than happy to clarify anything. Okay, good night. All the best. Do your best, all right? Don't panic, all right? Remember, you already have revised a lot for this. You're welcome. All right, good night. All the best. Hi, everyone. You can feel free to ask me any last minute questions you have for PSLE, all right? If you have any concerns, whatever section you are not still that confident in, I'll do my best to try to help you. Anyone has any questions? Hi, Eisen. I thought you had gone to sleep. S&T. Well, S&T, I would say the most important thing is to actually go revise your direct to indirect speech because that will 100% come out, okay? Direct to indirect speech. Remember that one? Okay, hold on. S&T tips. Firstly, revise your direct to indirect speech. Secondly, for S&T, you have to, the most important thing I would say is to really be very meticulous and check very carefully because as you know, any small mistake will be a loss of 2 marks. Okay, so check all your tenses, whether you have, for example, when versus had gone, which one should it be, your spelling and punctuation, whether you should have your commas, and your whether you have used all important information. Highlight. Yeah, okay, wait, later. For example, it was raining. For example, if you have this question and then you're supposed to use despite it raining, remember you need a heavily, or despite the heavy rain, you need a heavy, remember that. Rain, we went out to play soccer. Okay, remember this. Use all the important information. Don't miss out anything. Or not, there will be a huge waste of marks. Alright. Anything else you are looking for, Eisen, specifically? All right. You're welcome. Any specific rules you are not sure of? Or any specific questions? You remember your no sooner had and no sooner had then and hardly had when? Great. All right. Good night, is it? All the best. Do your best, all right? Hey, Jin Yang. Number is always singular. Number is always singular because no matter what kind of number you have, like 10, 1,000, 10,000, that's still one number. All right. Let me demonstrate to you. Hold on. The number of players, this should be was singular, right? Increasing every year. So number is always singular because it's always one number. All right. Word associations. You mean which word goes with what word? What do you mean by word associations? Maybe I'll answer your tense questions first. Your tense is just like your tense in editing. You have to check around to know what tense to use. Okay. For example, if the passage is talking about something, if the passage is talking about something in the present, like an ongoing fact, for example, whales are about to go extinct. Every year, hundreds of whales, and then the blank is here. So this should be, because the context of the passage or the paragraph is in present tense, this should be die, not died, right? So for tenses, you have to look at it's just like editing. It's the exact same thing for editing. You look around for whether the paragraph or the passage is in past or present tense. Okay. Yeah. What do you mean by word associations? Can you elaborate? Some common word combos I know are, hold on, let me make some more space. Some common ones to take note of are your between and your from, to, your neither nor, either or. For example, if they have a question like between 10, this here, between 10 something 20 birds were caught, then this must be and, because of the between 10 and 20. But okay. Yeah, is that what you mean by word associations? Okay. So you mean something like, for that, you just have to know what the phrasal verb there is trying to say. Like, for instance, it's just like when you do in your grammar close. Like, let's use the phrasal verb give up, okay? Give up. It's a very simple phrasal verb, like this up over here. Well, then you just have to check what the passage is telling you in that moment. Like, for example, John felt discouraged. I'm really struggling for space over here. Hold on. John felt discouraged and wanted to give, and then the blank over here. So you see, it's very simple because you can just look at the context beforehand. But you really need to pay attention to the context, because give can go with another preposition to make another phrasal verb. So if this is, let's say, John did not want to always be scared of the bully. He did not want to this time. So Aizen, what do you think this should be? He did not want to succumb to the bully this time. Think about it. Now this should be another phrase. Yeah, correct. Well done. Yes, this is give in. Yeah, give in means you succumb to someone's threat. Like you say, all right, I'll give you the money. Okay, so you just have to read around, see what they're trying to tell you, and then use the correct phrasal verb. It's just like in grammar close. In grammar close, you do exactly that also. For complete close, I will really say the biggest tip I have for you is to really always look around. Okay, the clue is always around there somewhere. Like, what exactly is that sentence saying? What exactly is that paragraph saying? Maybe in another paragraph or in another sentence, they will make a reference to that blank there also. Like people, like for example, there was an exercise we did not long ago, right? It said something like, people need what for a lot of things. Much of it comes from rain rainforest. Then you see, from this sentence, you know that this should be, what do you get from rainforest when you chop down the trees? So look around for the context. Read on to see. I'm gonna delete some things because my makeshift whiteboard is getting very crowded. Yeah, so this should be wood, all right? Because a lot of it comes from rainforest. So keep looking around for the context, okay? Keep checking around, like read ahead. Make sure you fully understand the meaning. What are they trying to say there? What should that word be? Then you'll be able to find the answer. If you're stuck, just keep looking around. The clues are all around. Complete close is challenging. So even if you get one or two wrong, don't worry about it, all right? Just try to do well in the other sections. So. Hi, Miss Yan. Thanks for dropping by. I'm just here to answer any last questions. Ming Yang, is that you? I am strongly inferring that it is. Yeah. Since that's your mother's account. Remember to sleep early, all right? You have any questions? Good. Now, Aizen, you don't need luck. Don't worry, because you have prepared already. All your knowledge is in your head already, okay? You don't need luck. You have already prepared. You only need luck if you haven't prepared and then you're just relying on that. All right, so I'll just say all the best and do your best. You got this. You're very welcome. Nah, I wouldn't say that. You must be a Sigma yourself. All of you. All right, tomorrow. It's just an exam paper. It can't hurt you. All right. Okay. Good night. Yeah. Yep, you are, Aizen. With the attitude, you can conquer anything. Just a reminder that in S&T, The only time you really have to change your tenses is in direct to indirect speech, where you have to move one tense back from direct to indirect. Like I asked him, did you go? Needs to become I asked him if he had gone. Right? But in most other questions, you don't have to change the tense. Like your active to passive voice. I ate dinner, dinner was eaten by me. Not dinner had been eaten. That's another tense. That's your past perfect tense, had been. No, it's just I ate dinner, so that's past tense. Then dinner was eaten by me. The only other time you have to change the tense that comes to mind right now is when you have your no sooner had than or your hardly had when. For this, you need to change the tense. Not really the tense, but because of the word had here, you need your it's not had ate, right? It's had eaten. So you need to use the past participle. All right. If you don't remember what the past participle is, just remember it's your had eaten, had drunk, all that. All right. So this, let's say a very simple example. I ate breakfast. Then I ran out. A very simplified example. Then in this case, yeah, you need to change it to no sooner had I, because of the had, now instead of ate, you need eaten breakfast. Then remember what happens here. Then I ran out. So this is one other time you need to change the tense. Technically, it's not the tense, it's just the change it to past participle, but I just remember it as ate needs to become eaten because of the had here, no sooner had. Other than that, you don't need to change the tense for any other SNT question. So check your tenses really carefully, okay? Because a lot of times when I see mistakes in SNT, it's to do with the tenses or the singular plural. Pardon me. What do I have to do? Ah. Hey everyone. Hope your revision is going well. You should be thinking of sleeping very soon. By 10, all right, latest. But before that, if you have any questions, please just go ahead, all right? I'm just here to answer any last questions you may have. With a very motivational duck here, which I have generated through AI. Okay, very good question. Just now becomes just then, all right? Let me write it down over here. Whiteboard gets clogged up really fast. Just now becomes just then. Very good question, Mia. Let me note down some other tricky ones. By association, now also becomes then, all right? You all already know your yesterday, previous day, all this. Yesterday becomes the previous day. Okay, one tricky one. I really hope this doesn't come out, but a tricky one is the word later. Later, curiously, is also later in indirect. The explanation is pretty complicated, so I will save that for another time. But just remember, later is still later. I don't think this will come out, but just in case. Hi, chair. Okay, hat. Very good question also. Hat. Now, you gotta not be confused about this hat. This hat. The reason why you see hat sometimes is because even though these two are the same words, these two are not the same types of hat. Let me demonstrate to you when hat can form, okay? Let's say you are doing this. Mother, hold on. Mother, mother asked me, did you eat dinner? Then this in indirect speech should become mother asked me if I had eaten dinner. You are following me so far? This eat becomes had eaten. Now, the interesting thing is in English, sometimes instead of asking someone, did you eat? Have you eaten dinner? You can ask someone, have you had dinner? So you see, in this case, let me duplicate all this. In this case, if you have, mother asked me, did you have dinner? Now, this have, we changed it to eaten, right? Yeah, then this have, we need to change it to a had over here. Then you have your very strange mother asked me if I had dinner. You see? But these two hats are not the same types of hat. This hat is actually it's just a substitute for the word eaten. You see? Right? So don't see the hat and then think that you must have something wrong. Just check if you have changed everything correctly. You see, you change the did you eat, did you have to if I had. And then the next word is the past tense of have, which is had. So it's correct if I had dinner. All right. All right. So this is how your hat can appear. Does that answer your question? Chair? You're welcome. Are you one of my students? Oh, all right. You're welcome. And good luck. No, not luck. You don't need luck. Just all the best for tomorrow. Do your best. Oh, may I ask who? Hmm. Ah, looks like we have some new friends here. Anyone has any questions? I'm just here to answer questions, all right? Or anything you all have. Or any concerns. You can ask me general questions too, like what to look out for any sections. I'll be happy to answer to the best I can. Let's all persevere together, all right? After Tuesday, which is your science, you will be free to do whatever you want. Until secondary school, that is. When I was young, I also had a really nice break after PSLE. One of the most carefree periods of my life. Okay, I gotta show the motivational ducky over here. Well, this question of how many pages to write is very variable because it depends on your handwriting, honestly. Some students, 2 pages is equivalent to like 4 or 5 from other students. And for you, to the specific student who asked this, based on your handwriting, I would say minimum 4 pages. So like 2 sheets of paper, for page one, page two, page three, page four. But remember, you shouldn't be aiming to write a very long compo. What you should be aiming for is elaborating on the important parts. And the important parts are any section that helps you to emphasize your theme. Okay. For example, if your theme is about a disappointment, then the areas you elaborate on should be the ones where you are feeling very, very, very disappointed. Okay. Don't be don't be so eager to write a nice story that you end up writing a very long introduction that's not really relevant. Like for example, you walking to school and then you see a cute duck at the side, or it started to rain. If that is relevant to your story later, if that builds it up, then yeah, sure. But if it's not relevant, then just don't describe that much. Okay, move on to the climatic parts, the parts that contain your theme. So, all right, remember to be very conscious of what parts you want to elaborate on. It should be the parts that help you to bring out your theme. Like a promise, then it should be the parts where you're trying to fulfill that promise, and maybe the end result of fulfilling that promise. Everyone was so happy or that. Or maybe talking about what the promise was. Anything that is related to your theme, yeah, those are worthy of elaboration. So overall, for you, about like 4 pages or 5. Longer doesn't necessarily mean better. Remember that, all right? It's about elaborating on things that are related to the theme. Just a reminder for everyone to please make sure you use the picture properly, all right? Picture and theme. Try to mention each one 3 times. Your picture shouldn't just be something at the end and then you, all right, got this, and then that's it. Like just in one line. The picture should be something important to the story. Any spelling words that potentially may come out. Well, this is might be a good. Amy, I'm assuming you are not one of my students, right? Because I actually have a spelling sheet which contains very important words. I'm gonna show it to you right now. Give me a second. Here we go. Give me a second. Okay, It's impossible to predict what exactly will come out for editing, but these are the words you must know how to spell, right? Because these might not only come out for editing, but also in S&T, where you have to change, for example, he approved this to his approval. So let me just put this here first. Make sure you know how to spell all these. Yeah, of course, of course. Of course you may. But hold on, my face is blocking some of them. Let me make a nice angle. Perseverance, that's number one. Because that tends to come out in S&T quite a bit. You're welcome. Take note of the spelling for generous and generosity, curious, curiosity. Those might come out. What are you all going to do after PSLE? Anyone has thought about that? Any skills you all want to pick up? Maybe like an instrument? If you don't play music, it's not too late to start learning. Because I only started learning piano when I was about 11. And now I can play pretty well, I would say. Oh, I can try to read more books about anything you like. Hmm. Remember, when you're done, I would recommend checking the S&T first, okay? Because S&T is the section where mistakes are punished the most. Spelling, grammar, not using all the information. Sometimes you might misspell the name too, like Matthew. Some versions of Matthew have one T, some have two T's. So just look very carefully. All right. Then after that, I would say you should check your, mm, I would say Compre OE also. Check whether you have really answered the questions properly. Like for example, if the question asks you for to quote like a two-word phrase, and if you had written three words, then yeah, that would be something you need to fix. And then for editing, if you find yourself with an abundance of time after you finish, if there are any words that you were not sure how to spell, like you don't know if it's one T or two T's or A or E, what you can do is you can write out different versions of the word at the side and then compare them against each other to see which one looks the most correct to you. That's the best thing you can do if you are not sure. Because it's not like you can pull out a dictionary. What you can do is to just try to see which one looks like the correct one to you. What's that catchphrase I used? You mean like an acronym to remember things? Well, are you referring to the one about no sooner had than and hardly had when? This one? Now, for this one, you can remember it through. I think this. I don't think this will come out. This hasn't come out in a while, but you can remember it through nutty squirrels hit trees. And for this, you can remember it as horribly hairy. And hold on. There is a version of this I teach my students, but on the internet, maybe horribly hairy whales, maybe. Are you one of my students, Carmine? Ah, let's play a game. Come, you can tell me which class you're from, and I'll try to guess. Mm. From which class are you? Like the time. Well, that doesn't really narrow it down because I have three classes from 3 to 5. What day? What day, Carmine? Friday? Ah, okay. I thought you were one of my primary sixes. But I didn't expect you to pop by in another account since you had used your original beluga. All right, good night. Anyone has any questions? I shall stay here till 10:30 because after 10:30, I expect all my primary sixes to be soundly asleep already anyway. Good night. All the best. Sure. You can tell me what the compo question was and if there were any difficult questions. Hmm. Yes.